y'all, I'm Ashley here on Talking Books with Ashley, here for end of June, beginning of July, and August, because I'm not buying any more books in August. Book haul. Oh my god. It's a bit out of hand, and there's one or two of them I'm saying end of June because I don't remember if I showed them to you or not, and I'm not going back and watching the video, but I know most of them I haven't. It's just like maybe one of them I might have shown you. It's out of hand. My husband can't watch this one because he'd be like, oh my god, Ashley. So let's get into it. The first one, My Life as a Villainess by Laura Lippman. I bought this. It's essays, and that's one of my favorite kind of book. Essays, short stories, and she writes mystery novels. I have read a few. I haven't read that one or this one yet. I'm just starting out with the small ones. Would I Lie to the Duke by Eva Lee. I actually started this one. I'm 90 pages into it already, and I kind of quit because other things come out. I love Eva Lee books. This is the second after, I don't remember the name of it. I read it. My Fake Rake. This is the sequel to My Fake Rake. It's cute so far. Next, in historical fiction or historical romance, and if you don't know, there's actually going to be a historical readathon by the 16th, I think, through, I don't know, it's this weekend, whatever dates the weekend hit on. Let me look. Peace Love, Jess from Peace Love Books is running it with a couple other people. It's going to be the 14th through the 16th. It's just a weekend long historical romance readathon. I thought about participating, but I kind of have to work, so, not kind of, I do have to work. But The Highwayman by Kerrigan Bryant, loved it, already read it, would recommend. I actually saw this one in Walmart, and it's a sequel, and I thought about not buying it because I haven't opened my Bubbles and Books box yet, but decided to go ahead and pick it up, and if it's the same one, it was $5. To Catch an Earl by Kate Bateman. This is, like I said, it's a sequel. I have the first one over there that I haven't read yet, but I'll get to it. Oh well. This Earl of Mine, that's the first one. Next is also, I say sequel, but with historical romances, you can read them in any order. I should be saying companion novels, because it's in the same universe with some of the same characters or relating characters, but they're not like direct sequels. The next one, The Care and Feeding of Waspish Widows. This one is the companion to The Lady's Guide to Celestial Mechanics. I haven't read either one of them, but here is the companion novel because I can't help myself. Next is The Hunter by Kerrigan Bryant. This is the companion novel to The Highwayman, which I've already read and loved. This one, it follows Christopher Argent and a girl named Millie. Both of them were in The Highwayman. They made appearances, so I can't wait to get into it. This will probably be my next read. It's just, I've read Midnight Sun and then Hair of the Night, and now I'm kind of in a book hangover because, oh my god, what do you do after Hair of the Night? Which I'll get to. This was actually in August. It's an August release. It's Midnight Sun. I hate the glare. But look, it's a pomegranate instead of an apple. I'll talk for a second about this. I graduated in 2009. I am a twihard. I have all the movies. I've read all the books so many times I could quote Twilight. It was my favorite, and I read it over and over and over and over. I loved Twilight from the books, and then in '08 they made the movie, and I had the t-shirts, I had jackets, I had the band-aids, I had the movie companions, I had a poster of Edward on my wall. I love it. Does it have its flaws? Sure, what book don't? Leave me alone. Next, Harry the Ninth. As soon as I got these in the mail, it was start reading right now. And then I did nothing but read for like 4 days straight, because they were both Midnight Sun 600 something pages. This one's 500 something pages. They're so good. This one is so wild. Go read it. That's all I'm gonna say, is go read Gideon and then go read Harrow. Weirdest books you'll ever read. Perfect. I talked about this in another video, like the mid-year book freakout tag. Relentless Moon by Mary Robinette Lord, can't talk. Mary Robinette Kowal. The third in the Lady Astronaut series. I haven't read it yet, but I do plan to as soon as possible. The Yellow House by Sarah M. Broom. It is a memoir, I believe. I don't know. Haven't read it. Do plan on it. I don't read a ton of nonfiction, but I've read more nonfiction this year than just about anything else. This was a cover grab. I won't say cover grab. It was a on a whim buy. I was standing in the bookstore and I saw Jeff Vandermeer's new book was out and had to have it, because I don't even know what it's about. I think it's like a book set in a school, which is not a horrible place to set a book. Oh, he's got, like, usually the stuff is up here, and this one's like on the side of the page, and that's fantastic. The page numbers. Oh, I love it. I happen to really love Jeff Vandermeer's books. They are weird, and if you haven't read them, I'd recommend them. The Ballad of Songbird and Snakes. I said I was not going to buy this. I was not going to read it, and I had no plans on picking it up. And then we went to Barnes & Noble over our honeymoon week, and it was there. And my husband's like, "Why don't you have it yet?" And I was like, "Because I'm not reading it. It's about snow. Who cares about snow?" He's like, "But you've read all the others." And then it bothered me. So, here it is. I have not been as big on picking this one up as like Midnight Sun, because I loved Hunger Games, but that time's past. I'm not living in the dystopian world anymore, especially with 2020 being dystopian all on its own. So, I'll get to it. I will. Just not yet. This is the ones I can't remember if I showed you. Oh no. Last Train to Key West by Chanel Cleaton. I have read it. I have loved it. It's about a group of women's stories when they meet in Key West. It's good. If you haven't read anything by her, I would suggest her first ones, When We Left Cuba, and Next Year in Havana is actually the first one. This one is probably one of my favorite books of the year. Mexican Gothic by Sylvia Moreno Garcia, if that's how you say her name. I loved this. It reminds me of a mix between Roy Powers' first book, Wilder Girls, Annihilation by Jeff Vandermeer, and Gothic historical. I mean, it is a Gothic historical, Mexican Gothic set in Mexico, about a woman who has to go check on her cousin who's in this new marriage and to this white man in Mexico who lives like he still lives in England. They're real big on family lines, and it's weird and wonderful. It's not that long, as you can see. I would recommend it if you like creepy and you like kind of weird. And next is another historical by Vanessa Riley, A Duke, the Lady, and a Baby. This is my third video today. I'm losing my voice. I think this is about a woman whose husband's died, and now she's kind of left out in the cold, and somebody's the new guardian of her son, and I don't know. I haven't read it. I'll show you this one, The Adventure Zone, Petals to the Metal. I have read it. It's adorable. I liked it just like the other ones. I've read now all 3 of the Adventure Zone graphic novels. Another historical, another companion. These are some of the historicals that I won't say are companions. These are series. You have to start with the first one by Sarah, or the first one in this series. Let me see if it's mentioned. It is Wicked and the Wallflower, then Brazen and the Beast, which is the best. And this is Daring and the Duke, about Grace and Ewan, the Duke of Marwick. She is a bare knuckle fighter. He is a duke, but he's a horrible person and a villain, and he has to grovel. Lots of groveling, but not necessarily enough for my taste. Like, I feel so weird about this one, and I'm not going to review it here, but it's one of my favorite and then also least favorite books I have read by Sarah MacLean. There's still more to go. 10 Things I Hate About Pinky. I'm thinking it's a 10 Things I Hate About You retelling, which is a retelling of The Taming of the Shrew by Shakespeare. I have not read it. I love Sadia Menon's books, like When Dimple Met Rishi and From Twinkle with Love. I have not read There's Something About Sweetie, and now I have not read 10 Things I Hate About Pinky. I need to catch up on these. It's just that I have to be in the mood for contemporary YA romances, because there's so many adult romances that I lose track of time. Next is a third in the series, Aru Shah and the Tree of Wishes. I have no idea, because it's the third in the series and I haven't read the first. I will get to these. Next is a nonfiction, The Great Pretender. It's about someone going, or they convinced these healthy people to commit themselves to mental hospital, and they had to prove their own sanity to be set free. So these people aren't mentally unstable, but then they have to prove they aren't mentally unstable because they've been locked up at a mental institute. And it's based on a true story. So I'll get to it. It sounds interesting. It's one of those things that I do want to read, but I don't know when. Tombstone, the Earp Brothers, Doc Holliday, and the Vendetta Ride from Hell. Secret about me, not really a secret. I love Tombstone. I like Western movies. My grandfather always watched Westerns. My daddy made me watch Westerns. And Tombstone is my favorite movie. Or one of my favorite movies. I love it. And so I saw this in the store and I'm like, would I read that? And then I went back another time. And then would I read that until I bought it? I kept doing it until I bought it. Also, look at the map in the front. That's the first time I've seen it. How cute. Look, it's not a book. Look at the old style writing in it. Okay, yeah, I can't obsess over it no more. I will read it whenever. Next, by Kevin Kwan, Sex and Vanity. He is the author of the Crazy Rich Asians series. I loved Crazy Rich Asians. It's rich people problems in Asia that it was just fantastic. It was so fun. And those are the epitome of beach reads. I have not picked this one up yet. I don't even know what it's about, but I saw he had written another one, and I'm hoping it's the same level of fun. We shall see. It's a Good Morning America book club pick. And I wish that wasn't on my cover. Another sequel, The Empire of Gold, by S.A. Chakraborty. I don't know. If I butchered that, I am terribly sorry. Well, look at that cover. This is the third in a series I can't even think of. The City of Brass is the first one. The second is Kingdom of Copper. I will read those eventually. The only reason I haven't read them is because it's a trilogy, and The City of Brass, I was told, ends on a major cliffhanger. I don't like cliffhangers. If you end a book on a cliffhanger and I don't have the second or the third or whatever, 95% of the time I'm not going to pick it up. The next one. Sometimes I go so far as to be angry enough to 1 star. Because don't do that. Don't start a story and then throw me off a cliff and expect me to still care by the time the next one comes around. If your story can't stand alone without that kind of ending, I don't want to read the next one. It's it for me. Whoever died or whatever happened, that's the end of it. So I didn't want to give or deny these the chance, so I just didn't read them. I have a specific reason for waiting. These two I picked up. The stickers are still on them. This is my fault. I'm sorry. It bothers me. The first is The One and Only Ivan by Catherine Applegate, and the second, The One and Only Bob by Catherine Applegate. I read The One and Only Ivan on audiobook. I borrowed it from the library, and I saw them at Walmart, and yeah, one of them's a paperback and one of them's a hardback, but I love The One and Only Ivan so much. I cried my eyes out reading this one. If you have never read The One and Only Ivan, go pick it up. It's based on a true story. And yes, they are based on, they're middle grade, but it's so sweet. The next one is The One and Only Bob. I don't know if this one's based on a true story or not, because I haven't read it yet and I haven't looked into it, but it's the same characters, Ruby and Ivan the gorilla, and I think their dog friend. And sorry, the sticker will drive me insane if I don't get it off. I will probably, I'll just read this, like the physical copy, but The One and Only Ivan was so good on audio that I'll probably just read the audio. These are like young middle grade based on the writing. But who says you can't read an audio book, or a middle grade book as a grown adult? Look. Well, this is odd to go back to back. Yellowbird, Oil Murder and a Woman's Search for Justice in Indian Country. Like I said, back to back of middle grade to murder. I saw this at Books A Million when we went for our honeymoon week, and I had to have it because I needed a true crime book for the month, and I still haven't read the true crime book of the month. So I just went ahead and picked it up. I think it's like part memoir, part, you know, true crime. I'd have to read it and see. But it looked interesting. More interesting than every other option that they had that day. And then last but not least, this is the last book I bought in August. I'm not planning on buying any more in August, so I decided to just go ahead and do the book haul for the month of August too. Everything Inside is the Reese Witherspoon Book Club Pick of the Month by Edwidge Danticat, is I think how you say it. I watched an interview with her. This is a short story collection. I have already read it. I highly recommend it. I'll talk about that in my bookstore, or my Reese Witherspoon Book Club Pick of the Month review video. That took quite a while. I had a lot to say. I had a lot of books to show. If you have any thoughts, questions, comments, or opinions, please leave them down below. Please like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it so much, and I will see y'all later. Bye!